my awesome social media. Welcome back to another video. Da, da, da. So today's topic is a really good one. It's always a good one. Anyway, so I say it's a good one because basically somebody had asked me this a little while back, and it actually got me thinking a lot. So it's basically what the title says. It's how many social media platforms do you really need for your business? Yeah, the title will be shorter than that actually, but it's a very good question. And I say it's a good question because it genuinely depends on your business and how much exposure you want. So I'll start off. So I'm pretty much on near enough every platform, and that's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Tumblr now and again, TikTok obviously, because I had to be basically. And I'm sure there's another one that's not coming to my mind, but on basically the major platforms I'm on. And I will say it's hard work. So with the social media platforms, there's two options. You can either do it yourself or you can actually hire people to take care of social media for you. In my case, I do everything myself. Everything is posted by me, whether it's scheduled in or whether I'm posting on the day at that exact time. It all kind of depends. But I say it's a good question because not everybody needs all those platforms. It all depends on your business. Now, because obviously mine is not only just selling hosiery, I'm growing a huge community of both men and women and every other gender possible. I was going to name them all, then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. There's so many. So I want to obviously build that community so it helps networking in loads of different spots. Compared to just if you were selling jewelry, maybe you may not need all of those platforms. It helps because obviously there's exposure. You're hitting worldwide targets, well, not really targets, but customers and target bases and everything. But then the con side to that is if you're doing it yourself, your life is going to be based around social media all the time to make sure that you're getting your content out and everything. And it's hard. And I'll say it's hard because somebody I used to know, basically they actually had burnout from just trying to handle social media, and they didn't have all those platforms. They just had Facebook and LinkedIn. I don't know if there were any others, but they were the two major ones. And from that, they basically couldn't cope. So it's not for everybody. And it helps obviously with the younger generation because everybody's all on social media, so they know how to run things really quickly compared to somebody who's never probably used TikTok before. So they're like, how do I do things? How do I make it go with the TikTok flow in a sense? So there's a lot of pros and cons as to why you need social media for your business and how many platforms you need it on. But ultimately, just remember that there are a lot of cons. And the biggest factor is you spend a lot of time on social media doing this. I've now gotten to the routine of I try and schedule where I can, it's just so it's one less platform to think about on the day if I'm posting on the day. There's also, I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's because it's coming home, hopefully. Anyway, so yeah, but there's obviously a lot of pros and cons to everything standard. But with social media is you can easily get burnout. You can easily, how can I put it? Lose focus is one. And not only that is, it takes up a lot of time and energy. Please note, it takes energy as well. And I say that because I've had so many times that I've just been run down, and it's all just trying to get everything onto social media as best as I can, then also trying to answer emails, trying to answer DMs on top, trying to engage with all my customers, trying to help people out at the same time. It's so hard, but it doesn't have to be. It's only hard if you make it. And I've mentioned before, obviously I'm on at least five platforms. So I'm already creating that hard work for myself. But at the same time, I'm kind of getting my message out there as well. So I can't really, I'm not grumbling at all. I'm not complaining one single bit because I'm used to all this. I've been doing social media by myself for the past 8 years. So this to me is just, it doesn't matter if you add another one on, I can basically incorporate that into my daily flow. But it's for people out there who are thinking about starting a business and obviously want to be trying hitting all the different platforms. Just know you need a lot of time to create content as well as post the content. So yeah, so it's just something to know because obviously nobody tells you how much effort goes into all that. But yeah, so ultimately it's entirely up to you how many platforms you choose, but just know the more you take on, the more work it's going to cause, and it's the less you time you have as well, because obviously I try and post between the 9 to 5 hours, maybe 10 to 6, depending on how I feel. But it cuts up into your time, and now I have days where I don't touch social media. I try and post near enough every day, if not every other day, but there's times I won't hit my social media for 2 days running because I just need that breakaway. And it's very, very important to say you need to take time away from social media too. As great as it is, trying to get your brand out there, trying to get your business out there, trying to get yourself set up, whether you're new, 6 months in, a year in, 5 years, however you work, you need to take that break from it as well. Especially in this day and age now where there's so many platforms, as I've mentioned, and it can be very, very overwhelming. If you're not used to social media generally, it can be very, very overwhelming. And I think this is why a lot of people choose not to, or they decide to hire somebody because it's so much, it's just so easier, even though it does cost money, but it's easy because that's taken away and somebody does that for you. Some it's like they'll either create content or you give them the content and they'll just post away. And no, there was another one. I can't think of it now. It'll come to me later. But yeah, so it's ultimately you don't need to be on every single one, because sometimes it's actually great to have a bit more of a niche market rather than trying to tackle every single person. I'm only starting off with all the major platforms now because obviously I'm new in all this. Like I mentioned, I'm trying to build my community as best as I can, as well as obviously selling hosiery on the side. But I know once I've got it into a really good stable position, I know the fact that I can actually come off some platforms and be like, I've got 2 main ones. You can catch me on X and Y kind of thing, rather than A, B, C, D, E kind of thing. So yeah, I felt like this was a very good talk to myself as well. Actually, it's quite nice. But yeah, so this is a really, really great question that needs to be asked by a lot of people who know somebody who's going into business as well. But anyway, that's it from me today, and I'll be back with another video soon. Bye.